speaker is Doreen Zimmerman.
Hi. My name is Doreen Zimmerman, and I'm nervous, and I cry a lot. And I'm also the author of the chapter titled Confessions of a Silver Lining Seeker. And I wrote mine. When I wrote Confessions of a Silver Lining Seeker, I thought I was writing about grief. What I eventually realized was that I was really writing about choice and discovery. After 47 years of marriage, and after losing my husband, Todd, the grief felt absolute and immovable, like weather, like tide. It was something larger than me. It had arrived, and it had tended to swallow everything I was. And for a long time, I believed I had no agency inside of it. The caregiving had consumed so much of my identity for so many years that when the silence finally came, it felt unbearable. The urgency was gone. The schedules were gone. The constant vigilance was gone. And what remained was this terrifying openness. It was unscripted time. I think many people assume grief is only sadness. But for me, grief was also disorientation. It was standing on the shore after the tide had gone out and realizing that I was still there. I was still alive. And then came the harder realization, if I was still alive, then life was asking something of me. Not someday, not after grief ended, but now. Right now, life was asking something of me. And while writing this piece, I began to notice these tiny moments that existed alongside my sorrow, not replacing it, not canceling it out. It was just quietly coexisting with it. It was a laugh. It was morning light. It was my grandchildren underfoot. It was music. It was sometimes memory without pain, and it was hope appearing for one brief second before it disappeared again. And I realized those moments required something from me. They required attention, permission, and choice. And that was the revelation that changed the essay for me. That privilege was not that I escaped grief. Privilege was that I still had the ability to choose how I would live with it. My choice reframed my privilege, and it layered it. Where once I thought my choice was one-dimensional, I discovered it was multidimensional. My privilege was multidimensional, and that these emotions that threatened to overwhelm me, swallow me whole, they could coexist and go from tidal wave to a low tide, side by side with the emotions that would allow me to thrive, seek, and have joy in my life. I could choose whether grief became the only story that I would write, and that realization gave me back a sense of agency that I did not even realize I had lost. Somewhere in this writing this essay, I stopped viewing joy as a betrayal to loss, and that was really important to me. Because when you deeply love someone, there's a type of guilt when you survive them. And there's a guilt in laughing again, in wanting again, and in discovering again. But then I began to understand that grief and emergence are not opposites. They coexist. Joy and sorrow can sit at the same table. You can cry for the love you lost, while you're being held by the love that you have found. You can miss someone with your entire soul and still feel wonder in the morning sunlight. And you can be broken open, and you can still become and emerge. And for me, choosing joy became an act of profound courage, not superficial happiness, not pretending that pain doesn't exist, because it does, but choosing openness, choosing participation, and choosing to keep loving life even after life has wounded you. And by choosing these to hold on to go forward, you choose joy. There's a line near the end of my essay where I write that the silver lining in my tide pools of reflection might actually be me. And that line surprised me when I wrote it, because I finally understood that emergence was not abandoning the life I had before. It was carrying it forward differently. When I choose joy now, I'm not leaving Todd behind. I'm carrying forward everything that love taught me. And honestly, sometimes I think that choice brings what I can only describe as an unbearable lightness of being, a feeling so full of hope and possibility it almost just hurts to hold it. Because when I choose joy, I choose life. I choose to love. I choose to thrive, to discover, to receive, and to remain open in wonder. And after grief convinced me I had lost everything, realizing I still possessed that choice, it may be the greatest privilege that I've ever had. So thank you for listening to me. And my nose.